I'm pretty excited about this. I'm here with a former student and a friend of mine, Matt Atkins. Matt has accomplished something that I've not seen yet in my career here working with students. It's in a different segment of the industry than we usually think about. And so, first of all, thank you so much for being here, Matt. And tell us, what is your current job and what does it look like? What is it that you do?
Yeah, so currently I'm the executive director of Spring Haven Senior Living, which is located here in Winter Haven, Florida. It's a 300,000 square foot property. We have independent living, assisted living, and memory care. Independent living, we have approximately 114 units. And then for AL and memory care, we have 200 licensed beds. Assisted living memory care, they're licensed beds because we're involved in their medical care. Independent living, they're essentially renting an apartment from us and we're providing, daily activities and transportation and just, helping them live an eventful life and have socialization instead of being secluded at home.
So executive director means that's your building, right? You're
Yep.
responsible 100% for whatever goes on in that building.
Yeah. So, I mean, from the top down, I mean, we have 5 stories on the IL side, and then the AL side is 4 stories, and we're sitting on 20 acres located on Lake Hartridge. So, from the very first thing you see, from the front entrance sign all the way to the lake, is my responsibility. So, if there's a blade of grass or a weed in the grass, that's my responsibility. Anybody who walks in who's not happy and they want to talk to the man in charge, it's me. With that comes post-acute care is unique because you do have to wear just about every single hat. We have, environmental services, housekeeping, maintenance, activity directors. We have dietary, providing 3 meals a day. There's so many things that go into this that for any student that wanted to jump in and really just get like see the full picture and really know the nitty gritty behind what happens in a healthcare system, I definitely recommend post-acute care.
Did you have to go to school for advanced degrees and certificates to be able to do this? What are the qualifications for this position?
Yeah, so I think that's the cool part of assisted living specifically, because to be an administrator from a technical side in a standard license ALF, all you have to have is a high school diploma, and you have to take a 26-hour core training, and then you have to pass the core training exam it's like a 70%. So is it hard to become core trained? No. And if you had the question, well, Matt, can my students go ahead and get core trained while they're getting their bachelor's degree? Absolutely, and they should. You pair that with a bachelor's or a master's, and it makes you very presentable. Um, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that you can get this coming out of high school, technically speaking. Now, are you going to be competitive? No.
Yeah.
But you pair
Yeah.
a UCF master's degree with it, yeah, for sure, because there's a lot of people that are in post-acute care, and if you that they don't even have a bachelor's degree. Now, if you have a master's on top of that, you're very, you're going to be sought after.
So when I met you like 5 years ago, you were just kind of getting started in your master's program. So when'd you graduate?
So I graduated with my master's in May of 22, and I started here at Spring Haven in June of 22.
So pardon me for being ignorant, but how did you get from starting to being the executive director in such a short period of time?
Yeah, so before here, I was at the health department with the COVID response team during those lovely 2020 times. So I worked with them for 2 years, so from 2020 until 2022. And that was rewarding. And the great thing that I had is I was able to network with directors of nursing, administrators all over Polk County and help them coordinate their COVID-19 response. And that was a huge part in why I actually ended up here, because one of my contacts, I was talking to her one evening and saying, "Yeah, I'm graduating with my master's in May. And, if you ever hear of any opportunities in the area, please let me know." I had really not thought about post-acute care until I was actually working with the health department and seeing what they do on a daily basis. And I was like, huh, this is actually very interesting. And they do a lot of different things that we talk about that hospitals do. And they kind of shone a light on this side of the industry and it intrigued me. And she called me and she said, hey, Spring Haven has an assistant executive director opening and I think you would be amazing for it. Are you interested? I said, yes. And she said, okay, apply. And I'm going to contact my regional director of operations and it's going to guarantee you an interview. So once you get in there, it's on you. I'm going to get you an interview and then you got to
Mhm.
sell yourself. So good luck. I was like, okay, well, thank you so much. And I went in for the interview and, that whole know your why, know your story, and be impactful. I took all
Mhm.
that in heart and shared it in the interview, and I got the job. And I started here in the end of June, and started as the assistant. And by October, I was the interim director because the director that I started with, she was no longer employed with the company. So I was the interim director, and then for that was about a 2 month period of time. And then the next 6 months, I was under the mentorship of her name is Dawn Marie. She had been in the industry for over 30 years. Amazing person. Taught me a lot. She taught me how to be an administrator. She really showed me the regulatory side of things, and I learned a lot. And as I say all the time, Shannon, you know this, I believe that you have to be a good follower in order to be a leader.
Mhm.
So I had that opportunity to just be under the umbrella of somebody that was a wealth of knowledge and just get the opportunity to be a sponge and soak it all up. And I did that. And we knew that the building was for sale during that 6 months. We already knew that was happening. And that, I think it was February of March of 2023, I had the opportunity to tour a group of people that were interested in buying the property. I did not know who they were. I didn't know if they were just real estate people or asset managers. I had no idea. And so I give them the grand tour, and they're like, okay, so if money was unlimited, what would you do here? And I laid out my whole plan, like everything that I would want to see done at the property. And they're like, okay, that's all great. It was very nice meeting you, shook hands with all of them and went our own ways. Well, what I didn't know is who was on that tour was the actual owner of the entire company. He owns all of their senior living buildings, their hotels, all of it. And at that moment, they said, hey, this is going to be our guy. Like, this is him. Like, he knows what to do. We were extremely impressed. This is going to be it. So I say that because when I tell, any, students or colleagues or anything, you never know who you're going to be in the room with. So always presenting yourself well and knowing your story and being confident in yourself, it pays dividends at the end of the day.
So going back to UCF, I usually say, why did you choose UCF? And you can tell me that too. But when you were here in school, I mean, all you did was just come to classes, right? You didn't do anything else.
Yeah, so no, no, not at all. So I knew we were doing this today, so I kind of chose this polo. So this is a student organization I was president of while I was at UCF, and I still wear this polo proudly. And people ask me questions about it all the time, and I still get to brag about the university and the importance of being engaged in your community wherever you're at. It's so important. So wherever you're at in your life, whether it's the university, Orlando Health, Baycare, Spring Haven, wherever your workplace is, you need to be engaged. You have to be engaged because if you know what's going on in the community and you're constantly building those connections and networking capabilities, it not only benefits you as an individual, but it will help the growth of your entire company. And then that's just going to put more spotlight on you and they're just going to like you more and more. So engagement anywhere you go is so important. Just don't go in and clock in and out and leave. That's not what it's all about. Networking and engaging and constantly growing is so important.
So you've been very supportive of UCF since you graduated. You helped us with a video project on post-acute care, which came out to be really cool. Uh, And I also understand that you're working on a healthcare experience project where a busload of our students will be coming down to Spring Haven to get the tour and find out about post-acute care. If one of those students during that tour pulls you off to the side and says, "Hey, Mr. Atkins, what advice do you have for me?" I mean, what do you tell those folks?
Well, first off, they need to listen to you, because everything you have to say, I mean, it's all true, and you've walked it. I mean, and that I think that's one of my first pieces is listen to the faculty of UCF because they've walked through all of they've done it. You know, y'all are at no offense, you're at the back end of your career, right? So you've already done the early career, you've done the mid career, you've done it all, you've seen it all. Not only have you personally walked through it, but you've had kids, you've had people that you've mentored, you've watched them succeed, and you've watched those fail too. So you know what works and you know what doesn't work. So listen to the people that are around you and actually pay attention. That's the biggest thing. I mean, that's if someone said, Matt, why are you at where you're at? I mean, but for one of the things, many things I would say is, well, I paid attention. You know, I watched people around me and I was like, okay, that did not work. Do not do that. Check that off the list. Don't even try it. And then I've seen the things that I'm like, okay, I want to emulate, I want to be like this person because they are successful and what they have, like it's truth. And I need to follow that to go ahead and get because what they have, I want. So, you know, emulate others. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you an imposter. It just means that you're taking knowledge from somebody else and leveraging it to your benefit to get you further at a younger age.
So, last bit of advice for students, because many of our students are like you. They're not just coming out of high school, coming out of an undergrad program. They have families and they have other jobs and responsibilities and activities in the community. So, what advice do you have for students? Because your job is very demanding. I kind of went through that in my career as well. What kind of advice do you give people for work-life balance? How do you maintain your sanity in all of this?
I would first say boundaries. Boundaries are key. Yes, you're going to get phone calls. Yes, you're going to be busy. Is it going to be a job that you clock in at 8 o'clock and punch out at 4 o'clock or come in at 9, leave by 5? No, that's not what this is about. Um, can I tell you that every weekend's going to be uninterrupted? No, I can't tell you that. And I won't tell you that. But, you know, if you set boundaries with your team, and they know when to call you and when not to call you, that's helpful.
Right.
Because if, let's say, someone falls and they didn't hurt themselves and it's 2 a.m., I do not need you to call me at 2 in the morning about that. Or, you know, Miss Susie we had to put a band-aid on her because she cut her arm. Like, that's not an emergency, like that's not something I need to know about. And then pass the boundaries and setting what the expectations are, what you need to be informed of and not informed of. I'd say build your team because if you build a strong team beneath you, there's so many things that they will take care of that never even reach your desk or reach or get across your phone, and you won't even really know about it until Monday morning and you find out that there were 37 fires that you didn't even know about, but they were all handled and everything went well. And that's great. So once you build that team and you create processes and procedures, which UCF, by the way, is great at teaching you on how to create processes and procedures.
Mhm.
That's how you get successful, and that's how you have a work-life boundary because in a work-life balance because you've taught everyone beneath you and they know what to do. So you're not being bothered because you've already established a team and you've established processes and procedures that people know how to do their job.
Great advice. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that you're still giving to us and still giving your time. We're pretty proud of you. We're friends now, but there was a time when I kind of felt like maybe you were one of my kids. Um, Becky says we're not quite ready for, coming down to Spring Haven yet, but she'll keep you in mind for when she's ready to get rid of me. So,
Okay. Well, I'll take good care of you, Shannon. I know
right. Thank you, and please give my best to your wife and hug your kids. And again, thanks so much for all you've done and all you continue to do for UCF and for our efforts to educate our students.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Take care, my friend.